The Chicago skyline gradually receded from Martha Brown's view as she looked down from the airplane window. How many times had she seen this sight before? This time, however, she was planning a slightly longer stay. She was on her way to a suburban neighborhood where her son Michael and his family lived. Martha tensed slightly as the taxi entered a quiet residential area near the country club. Weekends with Michael's new family always brought mixed emotions. Her son had succeeded as an executive at a locally renowned construction company, but his personal life had changed dramatically in recent years. His divorce from his first wife Caroline, then his second marriage 2 years ago. Deep down, Martha still couldn't forget the fondness she had felt for her first daughter-in-law. Is this the right place? The taxi driver's voice brought Martha back to reality. Yes, thank you. As Martha gathered her luggage and headed toward the entrance, the door swung open, and 10-year-old Lily rushed out. Grandma. She ran over with outstretched arms and hugged Martha's waist. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, my sweet angel. Martha said, gently stroking Lily's hair. Grandma's happy too. How have you been? How's school? Lily shrugged slightly. It's okay, I guess. My teacher gave me special praise for my math test. That's my girl, Martha smiled, but noticed something different in her granddaughter's tone. She seemed to be missing her usual cheerfulness. Vanessa appeared at the doorway. She worked as a well-regarded real estate agent in the area. With her perfectly styled hair and sophisticated casual wear, she always looked ready for a photo shoot. Martha, welcome, Vanessa said with a friendly, yet somewhat calculated smile. Was your trip comfortable? Yes, no problems at all, Martha replied with a matching smile. I'm sorry to impose on you, Vanessa. Not at all. Lily has been looking forward to your visit, she said, placing a hand on Lily's shoulder. The gesture was affectionate, but Martha sensed something possessive about it too. Where's Michael? Martha asked as she entered the house. He said he'll be late today. Apparently, there's a deadline approaching for a big project, Vanessa answered. But he promised he'd be home for dinner. Martha privately regretted her son's absence but tried not to show it in her expression. Well, he's always been responsible. The house was immaculate. Probably Vanessa's influence. She was a perfectionist. The space had become even more magazine-worthy than when Martha had visited before. I'll show you to your room, Vanessa said. It's the usual guest room. Martha followed Vanessa upstairs. Lily trailed behind her, occasionally giggling and saying, Grandma, let's play in the garden tomorrow. In the evening, Michael returned home. He looked tired, but his eyes lit up when he saw his mother. Mom, thank you for coming, he hugged her tightly. How have you been? Is the old house in Chicago holding up? Yes, no problems at all, Martha studied her son's face. You look tired. Just busy, Michael said lightly. We have this new shopping mall project, and... At dinner, the family gathered around a round table. The food was clearly catered, and Vanessa explained with a slight apology that she didn't have time to cook. Martha said nothing. In her day, home-cooked meals were the norm for family gatherings, but times had changed. The conversation revolved mainly around Michael's work, Lily's school life, and Vanessa's successes in the real estate business. On the surface, it was a pleasant family dinner, but Martha detected subtle tensions. There seemed to be unspoken messages in the glances Vanessa and Michael occasionally exchanged. So, Lily, Martha said, trying to change the subject, turning to her granddaughter. Anything exciting happen lately? Lily fell silent, thinking. Not really. She answered while pushing food around with her fork. Lily, eat properly, Vanessa said quietly but firmly. And answer your grandmother's question properly. There really isn't anything, Lily shrugged. Martha felt something was off about Lily's behavior. In her memory, her granddaughter was more energetic and talkative. Had something changed? After dinner, Michael and Martha had coffee in the living room and chatted a bit. Vanessa had gone upstairs, saying it was Lily's bath time. How's Lily's mother? Caroline doing? Martha asked carefully. Michael's expression stiffened slightly. Well, she seems to be doing fine. She said she started a new job in Denver. She sees Lily once a month. How's Lily handling it? Doesn't she miss her? Kids are adaptable, Michael said somewhat hastily. Besides, Vanessa really cares for Lily. She's a wonderful mother. Martha decided not to press further. The defensive tone in Michael's voice signaled that this topic shouldn't be pursued any deeper. That night, lying in bed, Martha thought about Lily. The once bright, energetic girl now seemed somewhat subdued. The subtle tension between Michael and Vanessa. And the absent Caroline. Families are always complicated, Martha thought. Especially reconstituted ones. Martha decided to make time to be alone with Lily tomorrow. She wanted to know her granddaughter's true feelings, and more simply, she wanted to enjoy time with her. Listening to the insects outside the window, Martha slowly drifted off to sleep. The next morning, Martha rose early and went out to the garden. Morning dew wet the lawn, and spring sunlight filtered through the trees. Just then, Lily burst into the garden in her pajamas, barefoot. Grandma, you're up early. Lily ran over with a smile. Her golden hair shimmered in the morning light. I'm always up early. When you get older, your internal clock changes, Martha said with a gentle smile. But why are you up? The birds woke me, Lily looked up at the sky. Look, there's a cardinal. Martha sat down next to her granddaughter, and they watched the birds together for a while. Lily's curiosity about nature had been there since she was very young. Grandma, can you braid my hair? Lily suddenly asked. Of course, Martha happily replied. She sat behind Lily and gently began to comb her hair. While braiding, Martha noticed the shape of Lily's ears. They had a distinctive shape, similar to her late husband's. Feeling nostalgic, Martha gently touched around her ear. Ouch! Lily suddenly cried out. I'm sorry, did I pull too hard? Martha stopped, surprised. No, my ear hurts, Lily put her hand to her right ear. Grandma, it hurts deep inside my ear. Martha looked intently at her granddaughter's face. How long has it been hurting? Since last night. But it's okay, Mama Vanessa put special medicine on it, Lily said, her expression clouding slightly. Martha frowned. What kind of medicine? I don't know. But she puts it on every night. She says she's cleaning my ears. This conversation troubled Martha, but she didn't pursue it further. She wanted to avoid overstepping when it came to a child's health issues. However, by dinner time, the situation had worsened. Lily sat at the table but barely touched her food. What's wrong, Lily? Michael asked with concern. My ear hurts. Lily grimaced. It really hurts. Not this again, Vanessa sighed. Lily, don't exaggerate. I just put medicine on it, didn't I? But it really hurts. Tears welled up in Lily's eyes. Martha stood up and went to her granddaughter's side, placing a hand on her forehead. You don't seem to have a fever. But you do look like you're in pain. Martha, please don't worry, Vanessa said in a somewhat stern tone. Lily can be a bit high-strung. I'll apply the medicine again later. But if it's an infection? Martha began, but Vanessa cut her off. It's fine. I'm taking care of it. That night, Martha paused outside Lily's room. She could hear Vanessa and Lily's voices from inside. Hold still. It'll be over soon. It hurts. Lily's small voice. This will make it better. But this is our secret. Don't tell Dad or Grandma. It would only worry them. The next morning, Michael left for work at dawn. He had an important meeting with a client. Vanessa also left, saying she had a property viewing. Lily's condition had worsened. She couldn't eat breakfast and was crying, holding her ear. That's enough, I'm taking you to a doctor, Martha decided. Is there a good ear specialist nearby? Mama Vanessa will be mad. Lily said fearfully. She said I shouldn't go without her. It's okay. Grandma will take responsibility, Martha said firmly. She searched for a nearby EN specialist on her smartphone and made an appointment with Dr. Harrison's clinic. In the waiting room, Martha's smartphone vibrated. It was a message from Vanessa. Did you take Lily to a doctor? Don't overreact. I'll look at it when I get back. Martha put her phone back in her pocket without replying. Ms. Brown, please come in, the nurse called. Dr. Harrison was a man with kind eyes. What seems to be the problem? He asked in a gentle voice. After Martha explained the situation, the doctor approached Lily and said, Can I take a look at your ear? Lily clutched Martha's hand tightly but nodded. The doctor took out an otoscope and peered into Lily's right ear. His expression froze instantly. He seemed to have found something, but he didn't immediately withdraw. He continued to observe carefully. Is something wrong? Martha asked anxiously. Dr. Harrison pressed his lips together and removed the otoscope. He smiled kindly at Lily. Lily, let me have the nurse bring you an ice pop. You can eat it in the waiting room. Lily looked puzzled, but when Martha said, It's okay, go ahead, she followed the nurse out of the room. When the door closed, the doctor's expression changed completely. His face paled, and his voice trembled. Surgery is needed immediately. Surgery? Martha gasped. What do you mean? Something has been deliberately injected into your granddaughter's ear. This is not an accident. It's a corrosive substance. If we don't address this quickly, it could reach the inner ear and cause permanent damage. Martha felt her spine freeze. Deliberately? Who would? I don't know, but this is clearly a form of abuse. We need to report this to the police, the doctor said with a grim expression. Let's go to the general hospital right away. I'll make arrangements. Martha took out her phone with trembling hands and began to call Michael. Her mind was in chaos, and her heart was pounding. She was left speechless by the horrifying fact that Lily's pain wasn't just a simple infection. The waiting room at the general hospital was eerily quiet under the white fluorescent lights. Martha sat in a hard chair, staring at the operating room door. Lily had been taken in on a stretcher 20 minutes ago. While waiting for the surgery to be prepared, a police officer had come to take Martha's statement. Were there any issues within the family? A young female detective asked. Not really. Martha began, then stopped. To be honest, I only visit on weekends. I don't know about their day-to-day life. Had your granddaughter been unwell before? Martha searched her memories. Lily used to be a very energetic child. But recently, I felt she was a bit subdued. Last night, I heard Vanessa, my son's wife, putting some medicine in Lily's ear. She called it our secret. The detective carefully noted this down. Did your granddaughter mention anything about special treatments administered at night? She said it hurt. But she seemed to be convincing herself that Mama Vanessa said it would make it better. Just then, the waiting room door burst open and Michael rushed in. His face was pale, and sweat beaded on his forehead. "Mom! Where's Lily?" "What happened?" he said breathlessly. "She's in surgery." Martha stood up and grabbed her son's arm. "Michael, sit down. Let me explain." Michael sat down with a confused expression. As Martha began to explain the situation, his face gradually contorted with horror and disbelief. "Wait, what are you saying?" He shook his head. "Vanessa would never hurt Lily. She loves her like her own child." "Where is your wife, sir?" the detective interrupted. "I contacted her too, but she said she couldn't leave work." Michael began, then paused. "You can't be serious. Suspecting Vanessa?" "Sir, we're just establishing the facts," the older male detective said calmly. "The substance found in your daughter's ear is not ordinary medicine. Someone deliberately injected it." Michael covered his face with both hands. "I can't believe this." Martha's phone rang. It was Vanessa. Martha exchanged glances with the officer and answered on speaker. "Martha, what's going on? Why did you take Lily to the hospital on your own?" Vanessa's voice was trying to sound calm, but anger lurked beneath. "Vanessa, Lily is in surgery right now," Martha said, trying to control her emotions. "There was a corrosive substance injected into her ear." Silence fell on the other end of the line. "What are you talking about?" Vanessa finally said. "I was only using ear drops recommended by a doctor. The police are here. They want to talk to you." Silence again. "I'll be right there," Vanessa said and hung up. For the next 3 hours, Vanessa didn't appear. During that time, the police began tracking her whereabouts. Michael was being questioned further by the police in the hospital cafeteria. Martha, waiting for the surgery to end, reflected on the events that had transpired. Looking back, there had been several odd aspects to Vanessa's behavior. Her unusual obsession with Lily's health records, frequently changing doctor's appointments. How Vanessa would become abnormally concerned whenever Lily complained of feeling unwell, yet was reluctant to seek outside help. Dr. Harrison's expression was stern when he returned from surgery, but there was also a hint of relief. The surgery went well. Fortunately, the substance hadn't reached the inner ear. There shouldn't be any permanent damage to her hearing. "Thank you," Martha teared up. "How's Lily?" "She's in the recovery room. You can see her when the anesthesia wears off." The police asked Martha for permission to search Lily's room. Michael, though bewildered, consented. In the evening, when Lily woke up in the recovery room, Martha was by her bedside. Michael had returned home with the police. "Grandma." Lily's voice was weak. "My ear doesn't hurt anymore." "That's good." Martha held her granddaughter's hand. "Lily, I want to ask you something. How long has Mama Vanessa been treating your ear?" Lily pondered. "I don't know, but for a long time. She called it special medicine." "Did it hurt?" "Not at all at first. But recently it became really painful. But Mama Vanessa said, this will make it better." Tears welled up in Lily's eyes. "She told me to keep it a secret from Dad." Late that night, Michael returned to the hospital. His face was ashen, his eyes hollow. "The police found Vanessa," he said quietly. "At the airport. She cancelled her flight and was brought back." "Did she say anything?" "She's denying everything." "But..." His voice choked. "They found a diary in Lily's room. It said, Mama Vanessa's special medicine hurts and don't tell Dad." The police investigation moved quickly. Search history related to Munchausen syndrome by proxy was found on Vanessa's computer. Even more shocking was the fact that in her previous marriage, her stepchild had also experienced mysterious health issues. That child had eventually developed hearing loss. Why didn't I notice? Michael held his head. How could I not see? The next morning, the police formally arrested Vanessa. During questioning, she partially admitted her guilt. She had been abused as a child herself, and a pathological desire to be needed as a savior had driven her to act this way. Did you know what you were doing? Martha asked in her mind. Betraying that child's pure trust. Michael and Martha sat facing each other in the hospital cafeteria. He looked like he hadn't slept all night. Mom, how do we move forward from here? His voice trembled. One day at a time, Martha took her son's hand. What matters is that Lily is safe now. And helping her recover. Outside the window, the morning sun was rising, announcing the start of a new day. Now that the painful truth had been revealed, a long road to recovery lay ahead of them. But Martha was determined. She would protect her granddaughter and son, and help them overcome this crisis. Because that's what family does. On the day Lily was discharged, the sky over Chicago's suburbs was overcast. Michael gently lifted Lily and placed her in the car. Martha carried the bags and quietly slipped into the back seat. During the journey from the hospital to home, no one spoke much. Occasionally, Michael would glance at Lily in the rearview mirror. His eyes reflected unspoken guilt and sadness. When they arrived at Michael's house, there was an unfamiliar car parked outside. Caroline. Martha whispered in surprise. Standing at the entrance was Lily's biological mother, Caroline. Caroline looked thinner than before and somewhat tired, but she still maintained a dignified beauty. As Michael parked the car, Caroline hurried over. She opened the back door and embraced her daughter. It's okay. Mommy's here now. Mommy. Lily's face brightened for the first time. You came. Of course. I got on a plane right away, Caroline said, stroking her daughter's hair. She turned to Martha and said, her voice catching, "Thank you, Martha. If you hadn't been there." Michael silently got out of the car and removed the luggage. His expression was hard, a mix of complex emotions crossing his face. Inside, the house was enveloped in a strange quietness. Vanessa's presence had vanished, and instead, Caroline's being there changed the entire atmosphere of the home. I'll make some coffee, Martha headed to the kitchen. I'll help, Caroline followed. Lily sat on the living room sofa with Michael. While arranging cups in the kitchen, Caroline quietly said, I heard everything from the police. I can't believe it, that woman did that to my daughter. Her hands trembled. We should have noticed, Martha sighed deeply. No, don't blame yourself, Caroline placed a hand on Martha's shoulder. The police said Munchausen by proxy is difficult to detect, especially for people without medical knowledge. The two women looked at each other. Once adversaries with Michael between them, they were now trying to cooperate for Lily's sake. Are you planning to stay here for a while? Martha asked. As long as I can. I can manage my Denver job remotely for a week. Beyond that, I don't know. Caroline began, then stopped. I'm not even sure if Michael wants me here. He's in shock, Martha showed understanding. But Lily needs you. That night, after Lily had gone to bed, the three adults gathered around the dining table. Pamphlets about family therapy, referred from a psychiatrist's office, were placed in the center of the table. I should have noticed sooner, Michael said heavily. He looked like he hadn't slept for 2 days, and deep fatigue showed on his face. That night, when Lily was in pain, I should have taken it more seriously. Michael, blaming yourself won't solve anything, Caroline said quietly. What matters is how we support Lily from now on. Caroline is right, Martha agreed. Lily needs all our strength right now. Michael held his head. How could I not see through her? Vanessa played the perfect wife, the perfect mother. I believed it. People only see what they want to see. Martha took her son's hand. You wanted a happy family. That's not a crime. Caroline hesitated slightly before saying, Michael, I'd like to stay here, but I won't force it if you don't want me to. Michael looked directly at his ex-wife for the first time. No, Lily needs you. I couldn't protect her. That night, Martha made a long phone call. She informed the caretaker of her Chicago home that she would be away for a while. She had decided to stay at her son's house and help them get through this crisis. The following weeks were difficult for the entire family. Lily would wake up from nightmares in the middle of the night, crying out, Mama, Vanessa is coming, with a frightened expression. She struggled to regain trust in adults. In particular, the question, didn't Dad know, repeatedly tore at Michael's heart. Sessions with a child psychologist began twice a week. At first, Lily was reticent. However, Martha's consistent gentleness and Caroline's unwavering love gradually opened her heart. Martha, I slipped out of the office during lunch today, Caroline said one day. I asked my boss to postpone my return to Denver, but he said it wouldn't be possible beyond this point. When do you have to go back? Martha asked worriedly. Next Monday, Caroline's shoulders drooped. I'd like to take Lily with me, but the psychologist says it's not good to change her environment again at this stage, and Michael also. Michael needs Lily too, Martha showed understanding. But I know you need Lily as well. Caroline fought back tears. I'm the worst mother. By moving to Denver, I left Lily with that woman. You were just trying to rebuild your life, Martha comforted her. And none of us thought Vanessa had problems. That night, Michael and Caroline talked for a long time. The former couple was beginning to create a new co-parenting plan for Lily. Michael would adjust his work schedule to bring Lily to Denver once a month. They would share summer and winter breaks. And above all, they promised to stay in touch constantly and share information about Lily's condition. Martha also reaffirmed her role. She decided to be a central presence in the family, not just a pinch hitter, supporting her son and granddaughter. She communicated that she would visit regularly and be ready to come whenever needed. Mom, thank you, Michael said to Martha one night after Lily had gone to bed. Without you, I don't know what would have happened to me. That's what family is, Martha smiled. Supporting each other in difficult times. On the day Caroline returned to Denver, the farewell at the airport was tearful. I'll see you next week, Caroline hugged Lily tightly. I'll call every night. Promise. There was anxiety in Lily's eyes. I promise. Mommy is always with you, in your heart. After the plane took off, the three, Michael, Martha, and Lily, quietly got into the car. Shall we go for ice cream? Michael suggested. Yes. Lily's face brightened a bit. Martha watched this scene from the back seat. A wounded family, slowly healing, beginning to bond in a new way. There was still a long way to go, but the light was visible. At the ice cream shop, Lily laughed genuinely for the first time in a while. Martha, seeing that smile, felt proud of her granddaughter's strength. A child's resilience is remarkable. With proper support from the adults, Lily would overcome this experience and grow even stronger. That night, Martha stood by the window, looking up at the starry sky. Through this crisis, a new family bond had been forged. It was a bond born from pain, but now strengthened by hope and love. Martha took a deep breath, believing tomorrow would be a better day. 1 year later, Martha gazed at the garden visible from the window. The new house in Chicago's suburbs was smaller than Michael's previous home, but it was a bright space with soft sunlight streaming in. Below the window, Lily was playing tag with her friends, laughing. Now 11 years old, her laughter had regained its former brightness. More coffee. Michael appeared from the kitchen with a mug. Thank you, Martha accepted the cup. I'm so glad to see Lily doing well. Yes, Michael smiled as he watched his daughter. Her teacher says she's become more active in school. Last month, she won an Excellence Award for her science fair project on hearing. She's turned her experience into positive energy, Martha said proudly. Over the past year, their lives had changed significantly. Michael reduced his work pace, prioritizing time with Lily. Once a month, he took Lily to Denver to spend time with Caroline. During summer vacation, Caroline stayed here for about 2 weeks, and they went on short family trips. There's an email from Caroline, Michael said, looking at his smartphone. She says she might be able to transfer here next month. That's wonderful. Lily will be thrilled. Yes. She's a good mother, Michael quietly acknowledged. We may be divorced, but I think we can be a good team for Lily. Martha looked at the photo stuck on the refrigerator in the kitchen. It was a recent picture of the 4 of them, Lily, Michael, Caroline, and herself. Everyone had natural smiles. It was the image of a family that had overcome hardship. What about Vanessa? Martha asked cautiously. Michael's expression clouded momentarily. She's continuing a program at a psychiatric facility. According to the doctors, she's beginning to confront her behavioral patterns. And the letters to Lily. Professionals review them and only pass on appropriate ones. It's up to Lily whether she reads them or not. From outside the window, Lily's voice called out, Dad, Grandma, look. She was pointing at the first crocus flowers blooming in the garden. Michael and Martha went outside and stood beside Lily. A gentle spring breeze enveloped them. Lily, your mother called this weekend, Martha said. She wants to come see your school concert. Really? Lily's eyes sparkled. I have a clarinet solo part. Martha embraced her granddaughter's shoulders and quietly thought, life is unpredictable and sometimes brings cruel trials. But with love and patience, even the deepest wounds can heal. This family had regenerated from the brink of destruction into a stronger, more compassionate form. Michael gently placed his hand on Martha's shoulder. Mom, thank you. Without you, this family wouldn't be here now. Martha looked up at her son and smiled. That's what family is. Being there when needed. And loving no matter what. The spring sunshine warmly embraced the 3 of them. A future full of hope stretched out before them.